श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तन्नमाम्यहम्. श्लोक 39. लिंगं चानेकसंयुक्तं चलं दृश्यं विकारी च अव्यापकमसद्रूपं तत्कथं स्यात् पुमानयम्. In the previous few verses, we have seen Sthula Shariratmatva Nirasaha. The Sthula Sharira, the Atma status of the Sthula Sharira is negated. Sthula Sharira is not Atma. Now, after Sthula Sharira, there is the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. Sukshma Sharira is also called Linga Sharira. Now the author is negating the Atmatva of Linga Sharira. Even the Linga Sharira is not Atma. Mind, senses, prana, even they are not Atma. Why? Because they have Vailakshanya with respect to Atma. They are distinct in nature with respect to the Atma. So, lingam cha aneka sanyuktam. Even the linga sharira is made of many components. It is one Vailakshanya. Chalam, it is chala, subject to changes. Sukshma Sharira is subject to changes. It is changing every moment. Every moment we have a different thought. Now it has come to the class. In the very next moment it goes to America. It goes to Bombay, it goes to Bangalore. So, the Sukshma Sharira is changing. Drishyam, it is Drishya. It is also object of consciousness. Vikaricha, it is Vikari. It has all forms of modifications. Avyapakam, it is avyapaka, not pervasive. It is limited in nature. And asadrupam, it is mithya. Even Sukshma Sharira is mithya, just like the Sthula Sharira. Therefore, how can it be Atma? Katham syat pumanayam. How can it be Puman? How can it be the Atma? Evam dehadvayadanyaha Atma Purusha Ishvaraha Sarvatma Sarvarupascha Sarvatitohamavyayah. Evam dehadvayad anyah Atma. He is summing up what has been discussed so far. Atma dehadvayad anyah. Atma is different from the two bodies, Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. And we should also understand Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira is Ajnana. So, definitely it is distinct from Ajnana. Such Atma is called Purusha in the Vedas. Purusha evedagum sarvam. Purnatvat Purusha. The Brahman, you can call it Purusha. You can call it Brahman also. Brahman means the infinite, the limitless. Brihat, Brihatvad Brahma. Brahman literally means the big. Big. When we use the word big in our worldly usage, the word big is relative. We use big in a relative way. After big, we add something. For example, big ant. I saw a big ant yesterday. How big can be the big ant? Can it be as big as a small cat? A big ant is much smaller than a small cat. When you use the word big as an adjective to something, the big becomes a relative. It is not really big. But when you say just big, the big, there is nothing to limit the bigness. Just big means infinite, free from all limitations. Desha kala vastu paricheda shunya, free from desha paricheda, free from kala paricheda, and free from vastu paricheda. It is Brahman. And the same Brahman, from the standpoint of the universe, is called Ishvara. We have heard the word Ishvara. Often we hear the word Ishvara. What is Ishvara? Ishvara is not different from Brahman. It is not that Brahman is here and Ishvara is here. Not so. Not two different things. Brahman is Ishvara. But we should understand from what standpoint we use the word Ishvara. The Ishvara, the word Ishvara, is a relation word, like a father. Suppose there is one Mr. Devadatta. You are referring to him as Mr. Devadatta only. But with respect to his son, he is father. From the standpoint of his son, Devadatta is father. But as himself, he is not the father. You cannot call him father. In that respect, I can call almost everyone father, because most of you are fathers or mothers. Most of you, not all. So, from the standpoint of his son, Devadatta is father. Likewise, from the standpoint of the universe, Brahman is Ishvara. The Shruti introduces Brahman in relation to the Jagat, in relation to the universe. In fact, that is how the teaching has to begin. Whenever we have to introduce a new person, we have to introduce him or her in relation to what we already know or who we already know. So, who is Mr. Devadatta? You don't know him. But you know another Mr. Yajnadatta. You can introduce Devadatta as the friend of Yajnadatta or as the son of Yajnadatta. So, an unknown principle has to be introduced in relation to something that we already know. All of us are aware of this universe, because this universe is right in front of our eyes. We are experiencing every day. But we are not familiar with the Brahman. Brahman is new to us. The Shastra has to introduce us Brahman. Then how does the Shastra introduces? Shastra introduces Brahman in relation to the Jagat. You see this Jagat, this magnificent universe. Where has it come from? What is its cause? The universe should have a cause. Because the universe is intelligently formed. There is intelligence in the formation of the universe. And the intelligence that is inherent in the universe is being decoded by all the disciplines of knowledge that we are studying. Any discipline of science is an effort to decode, an effort to decipher the intelligence that is embedded in the universe. In every atom, in every cell, you can find the intelligence in its formation. When something is intelligently formed, it should have a maker. For example, this clock. When you see the clock, when you examine it, you understand that it cannot have come at random, because there is a proper design, and because of its proper design, it is functioning in a given way. Likewise, this whole universe should have a cause. Who is the cause? The Upanishad says, it is Brahman. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, from which everything is born. Is Brahman. Just producing the universe is not enough. There has to be somebody to run the universe also. There has to be somebody to sustain the universe also. Because the universe consists of various forces. When various forces are acting, there has to be someone who governs the working of all the forces. That is when all the forces can work in harmony. All the forces can work in unison. Like the traffic. Suppose there is no traffic law, there is no traffic police, there will be chaos. Because so many vehicles are running. Likewise in the universe, to sustain the universe, so many forces have to function. And who is governing all the forces? It is also Brahman. One who has made the universe is also sustaining the universe, ruling the universe. He is the ruler of the universe. Therefore, he is called Ishvara. Ishte iti Ishvaraha. One who rules, one who sustains, is called Ishvara. Therefore, from the standpoint of the universe, Brahman is Ishvara. So, Atma Purusha Ishvaraha. Sarvatma, the Ishvara, Brahman is Sarvatma, the Atma of everyone. Sarvasya Atma. Everybody is Atma. Because it is the only reality, only substance. Sarvatma, Sarvarupascha. The same Brahman is present in all forms. Just like in a jewelry shop, the same gold is present in all ornaments, in the form of all ornaments. The same Brahman is present in all forms. Therefore, he is all pervasive. Brahman pervades everything as the very substance. But in the meantime, Brahman transcends everything. Brahman is both immanent as well as transcendent at the same time. Immanent means present in and through everything. Meanwhile, he transcends everything. How is it possible? It seems to be impossible. If Brahman is in everything, how can he transcend everything? It is very much possible. For example, let us take a movie screen. The movie is projected on a screen. Every scene in the movie is pervaded by the movie screen. No picture in the movie, no scene in the movie can be seen without the movie screen as its backdrop, as its background. Therefore, anything that is projected on the movie screen is pervaded by the movie screen. In every inch of the movie, there is the movie screen. But in the meantime, the screen is not affected by any scene in the movie. You see a fire burning in a movie. Does the screen get burnt? It does not get burnt. You see water in the movie, water flooding in the movie. Does the screen get drenched? It does not. Likewise, being the Adhara, being the support, Brahman pervades everything. Despite pervading everything, he is not affected by anything. Because the universe is a lesser reality, whereas Brahman is a greater reality. The lesser reality is called Mithya. The greater reality is Satya. In Vedanta, we use the word Nyuna Satta and Adhika Satta. Nyuna Satta means lesser reality. Adhika Satta means greater reality. Just like the mirage water and the sand. The mirage water is of a lesser reality compared to the sand in the desert. Therefore, the mirage water does not, because of the mirage water, the sand does not get wet. Though the mirage water is seen just on the sand, but even a little of wetness cannot be found in the sand. You go to the mirage to find water, and you touch the sand and see it is absolutely dry. Not an iota of, not even a droplet of water. Likewise, the Brahman transcends everything, despite being the support of everything, despite being the substratum of everything. Sarvatitaha, avyayaha, free from all changes. Aham, it is me. It is my Swarupa. This is the understanding of a jnani. Ityatmadeha bhagena prapanchasyaiva satyata yathokta tarkashastrena tatah kim purusharthata. Now, the author is pointing out a flaw in certain other schools of philosophy. He calls those schools of philosophy as Tarkashastra. Tarkashastra refers to certain philosophies that try to understand the truth based on intellectual speculation instead of taking recourse to Shruti Pramana. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, all these are included. They are all referred to as Tarkashastra. All these schools of philosophy understand the difference between Atma and Anatma. They segregate Atma from Anatma. There is an Atma and non-Atma. They all accept this division. But then there is a problem. They leave it at that. They make a distinction between Atma and Anatma. But they don't go one level further to understand that the Anatma is unreal. Anatma is mithya. This understanding they don't have. For them, Atma is also Satya. Anatma is also Satya. If Anatma is Satya, you cannot say Atma is Sarvatitaha, because two Satyas are there. When there are two realities, one reality will affect the other. If Jagat is also real, Atma is also real, Jagat will not stop troubling the Atma. Because the very nature of Jagat is to trouble. Therefore, the author says, this much understanding is not enough to get the Parama Purushartha, means moksha. This much understanding is not enough to get moksha. Therefore, those schools of philosophy cannot guarantee moksha. See, ityatmadeha bhagena. So they make an atmadeha bhaga, means atmadeha vibhaga. They distinguish Atma from body. To that extent, fine. But still, prapanchasyaiva satyata tarkashastrena prokta, tarkashastrena yathokta. They accept the satyatva of the prapancha. They accept the reality of the universe. Tatah kim purusharthata. What purpose does it serve? Means it does not serve the purpose. It is not enough to liberate. Idanim deha bhedasya, इत्यात्मदेहभेदेन देहात्मत्वं निवारितम् इदानीं देहभेदस्य ह्यसत्त्वं स्फुटमुच्यते. इति आत्मदेहभेदेन. So far we have discussed the difference between Atma and Deha. Atma is different from Dehadvaya, Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. By establishing this, Dehatmavada is negated. Body is not Atma. This is established. Sthula Sharira is not Atma. By saying that, we have negated Dehatmavada. And Sukshma Sharira is also not the Atma. When this is said, even the Jivatmavada gets negated. Because along with the Sukshma Sharira, you become Jivatma, the doer, enjoyer. You become a doer and enjoyer on account of the identification with the Sukshma Sharira. And you go to another Janma along with your Sukshma Sharira. Therefore, the Jivatmatva also gets negated when the Atma is distinguished from the Sukshma Sharira. But now, the Mithyatva of the Anatma has to be stated. Idanim dehabedasya hyasattvam sputamuchyate. Idanim, now, hereafter. Dehabedasya asattvam, the unreality of the body, unreality of all the bodies, implying the unreality of the whole Jagat, Jagan Mithyatva, Sputam Uchyate. It is clearly stated, clearly explained how Jagat is Mithya. चैतन्यस्यैकरूपत्वात् भेदो युक्तो न कर्हिचित् Jivatam is there. It should be Jivatvam. Jivatvam. Jivatvancha mrusha jneyam Rajjau sarpagraho yatha. Sarpagraho is there. It should be graho. Graho. O, not au. Rajjau sarpagraho yatha. Chaitanya. Atma is Chaitanya. The Chaitanya cannot have parts. Only Jada can have parts. Chaitanya cannot have parts. Why Chaitanya cannot have parts? The Purupakshi may ask, why Chaitanya cannot have parts? Just like the Jada, just like the table, even Chaitanya can have parts. This is Purvapaksha, the opponent, objection. Then I will ask the Purvapakshi, if you say Chaitanya has parts, if you say consciousness has parts, what is the nature of those parts? The parts of consciousness, are they Chaitanya or are they Jada? I am giving him two options. One option is part of consciousness, part of Chaitanya is Chaitanya. Another option is parts of Chaitanya is Jada. Which option do you choose? The first one, part of Chaitanya is Chaitanya. If he chooses the first option, then that will mean one Chaitanya has many Chaitanyas within it. Because every part of the Chaitanya is a Chaitanya. Then one consciousness will have many Chaitanyas, many consciousnesses within itself. In that case, every Chaitanya will fight with each other. Every Chaitanya will have its own idea and they will fight with each other. Therefore, that part of Chaitanya cannot be Chaitanya. First option is ruled out. It is absurd to say that one Chaitanya has many Chaitanyas within it. Then he has to choose the second option. Part of Chaitanya is Jada. If you say part of Chaitanya is Jada, it will mean Chaitanya is a mixture of many Jadas. But the mixture of many Jadas, assemblage of many Jada, itself also will be Jada only. It cannot make a Chaitanya. Therefore, even the second option gets ruled out. Therefore, Chaitanya cannot have part. It is free from parts. Therefore, it is Ekarupa. Ekarupa means just one nature. Anything that has parts has many natures. See, my body, the hand has its own nature. Hand is not like leg. Leg is not like head. It is Aneka Rupa. Whereas Chaitanya is Eka Rupa. Because it doesn't have parts. And if it is Ekarupa, it has to be infinite. It cannot have limitations. Anything that is limited will have parts, will have avayava. Therefore, that which does not have parts has to be free from limitations. Therefore, Chaitanya is infinite, free from limitations. If Chaitanya is free from limitations, it is infinite, then there cannot be another. There cannot be another substance. Because one infinite existence does not give room for another. There is no room for another. Therefore, Chaitanya has to be the only reality. Chaitanya has to be the only substance. Advaita. This is a logical way of arriving at Advaita. Just think about this logic. There cannot be another Chaitanya, because if there is another Chaitanya, this will get limited. And there cannot be another Jada also, because if there is another Jada, this will get limited as well. The very fact that it is infinite rules out the possibility of a second substance. Therefore, Chaitanyasya ekarupatvat bhedo yukto na karhichit. There cannot be any bheda in Chaitanya. All three types of bheda are ruled out. Sajatiya bheda, vijatiya bheda, and swagata bheda. All three Vedas are ruled out. In fact, in this logical process, first we negated Swagata Bheda. The negation of Swagata Bheda leads to the negation of Sajatiya Bheda and Vijatiya Bheda. Therefore, everything has to be Chaitanya, one single Chaitanya. That is Brahman, that is Paramatma. Therefore, anything that appears to be other than the Chaitanya has to be unreal. If Chaitanya is the only reality, anything that appears to be other than Chaitanya has to be unreal. The whole universe seems to be different from Chaitanya because it is Jada. The universe that we see is jada, insentient. Every object that we see, every form we see, every name that we see is insentient. Therefore, it is other than Chaitanya. Therefore, it has to be, it cannot have a reality. It has to be mithya. It has to be unreal. Therefore, we arrive at Jagan Mithya. Jagat is mithya. Then what about us? We identify as the jiva, as a complaining individual. A complaining individual is jiva. We identify ourselves as limited beings, and on account of our limitations, we have many complaints. I don't have this, I don't have that. We have the sense of lacking, sense of insufficiency, sense of guilt. I should have done this, I should have done that. As kartas, as the doers, we will always have the sense of guilt. I didn't do this properly. I made a mistake. So we have sense of guilt. I did this thing wrong, that thing wrong in my life. I should have chosen another career. I should have chosen another person to marry. The married people have a guilt. I made a blunder by marrying. And the unmarried people have another type of guilt. I should have married at the right age. I missed the opportunity. So, as doer, as karta, we are subject to guilt. And then as bhokta, as enjoyer, we are subject to hurt. He hurts me, she hurts me, his words hurt me, her words hurt me. If somebody speaks, it hurts us. And if somebody doesn't speak, also it hurts us. He didn't even look at me. He didn't even smile at me. Another hurt. He didn't appreciate me. So even words hurt, and absence of words also hurt. Therefore, we should know when to speak, when not to speak, what to speak, what not to speak. So, all these are collectively called jivatva, the jiva status, our limitation, our complaints, kartrutva, bhoktrutva, doership, enjoyership, all these are collectively called jivatva. All of us experience jivatva. We have been experiencing jivatva right from the beginning. If our Swarupa is Chaitanya, pure consciousness, which is Brahman, then what about this jivatva? Jivatvam is mithya. See, the author is not saying jiva is mithya. Jivatva is mithya. Your jiva status is mithya. You are not mithya. You are satya. We have to be very careful. Vedanta says everything is mithya, so we are mithya. It is not so. You are Brahman, but your jiva status is mithya. That is what I told yesterday. Your samsari status, samsaritva is mithya. Jivatvancha mrishajneyam. One should understand that the jivatva is mithya. Mrisha means mithya. Rajjau sarpagraho yatha. Just like the superimposition of rope, of snake on the rope. Rajjau, in rope. Yatha sarpagraha. How the rope is superimposed on account of ignorance. In the same manner, the jiva status is superimposed on us. Jivatva is superimposed on us on account of ajnana. Rajvajnanat kshanenaiva yadvadrajjurhi sarpini bhati tadvacchitis sakshat vishvakarena kevala. So now the author is elaborating on these 2 points. First point is Jagat is mithya. And second point is your jivatva is mithya. Jagat is mithya and your jivatva is mithya. The best example for everything is rope snake. It is the most often used example. Just like the Rajju appears as Sarpa on account of Ajnana. And how long does it take for the Rajju to become Sarpa? Does it take 10 years? Kshanena eva. In a moment, the Rajju appears as Sarpa. As soon as there is ajnana, the samsara begins. It does not take time. See, rajjajnanat, on account of ajnana of rajju, ignorance of the rope, kshanena eva, in a moment, yadvad rajjurhi sarpini, just as the rope appears as a snake. Likewise, tadvat, in the same manner, sakshat chitihi, the chaitanya itself, kevala, only, just chaitanya, only chaitanya, ajnanat vishwakarena bhati, on account of ajnana, it appears as Vishwa, it appears as the universe. Upadanam prapanchasya brahmanonyanna vidyate tasmat sarva prapanchoyam brahmaivasti na chetarat. We'll see in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.